So this is going to be my empath survival guide. This is 5 key strategies that I've come up with that's going to help empaths like me survive this narcissistic culture that we live in. Now, if you don't know what an empath is, I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and I'm going to talk about what it's like to be an empath in this culture, and then we'll get into the strategies. So an empath is defined as being someone who's able to understand and be sensitive to the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, and the experiences of other people, even without having people communicate those experiences or those feelings with us. So it's kind of like a superpower. We're able to just pick up feelings in the air. What was that? Who's angry? Who's upset? That's a little bit of exaggeration. It's not quite that simple. We take things into consideration such as body kinetics, facial expressions, tone of voice, but all that stuff combined gives us the ability to understand and experience other people's brokenness, their pain, and their anger in a very experiential way. We actually experience it and feel it with people. What's really interesting is that there's a science fiction version of the definition, and it goes like this. It's a paranormal ability to apprehend the mental and emotional state of another person. Crazy, huh? What's even more crazy is that I believe there's truth to this, and maybe you've experienced this too. Have you ever come out of a relationship or a situation where you literally felt like something jumped inside of you? I'm not trying to get overly spiritual, guys, but there's been times where I've left a relationship going, "Dear Lord, what is inside of me? Get out of me, get out of my mind, get out of my heart." I was feeling this pain and this anger and this frustration and this hurt that I didn't have going into that relationship. And it's taken a long time to deal with that and get it out, which is going to be one of the things in the strategies that I'm going to share with you later. This is real, guys. It's very real. Because we have the ability to get so deep with people and experience people's pain, we can actually apprehend and take on other people's feelings and emotions, and it can dwell within inside of us. Crazy. It is like a superpower. Now, personally, I'm not sure if being an empath is something we're born with or if it's something that develops over time. I tend to believe we all have these capabilities. We can all be very narcissistic and we can all be very empathetic. At some point, one develops greater than the other, and we get off balance. Being raised by an alcoholic mother, I can see that at a very early age, too early of an age, unfortunately, I became a shoulder for my mom to cry on, and she would unload all of her hurts and her brokenness onto me. I had no choice because I was so young but to be just a listening ear. And when my mother wasn't crying on my shoulder and getting out her hurts and her brokenness, she would oftentimes be in a drunken rage, and she'd be fighting and she'd be throwing things. So from this early age, I began to notice the characteristics of brokenness, and it began to develop in me an empathy. So this is how it developed in my personal life. You may have a different story. Now, this unique ability that we have nurtured becomes a huge problem for narcissists because the narcissist's self-esteem depends on their ability to conceal their true selves from us. Narcissists work hard to project everything outward. That's why they insult you. They insult me. Or they talk about somebody else. It's smoke and mirrors. Look over here. Look over here. Look at you. That's what narcissists are saying. Don't look at me. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfect. I'm fine. I'm fine. And they trip out around us empaths because it's like us empaths have x-ray vision and shoo, we're just looking straight into their soul. And they are freaking out. And they go on this outrageous offensive attack, calling us names. They're fighting for their life, guys. They'll be cussing you out. They'll be calling you names. They'll even get to the point of saying, "I don't want a relationship with you." They'll tell you, "You're nothing to me." The reason is because once their true self is exposed, once we cross that line, once we get past that boundary and we expose who they really are, their whole fake self, their whole identity, their whole esteem that they built, their whole world collapses. They're done. They're dead. Their fake identity is dead. Now, you and I as empaths, we might look at that and go, "Yeah, that's good. We want that fake facade to die. It's terrible. It's stupid. It just runs around hurting people." We want to watch that fake self die. It's a lot of hard work to crack that rock open, guys. It probably takes more than just us empaths to do that type of job. But needless to say, we get blindsided by this huge attack in our life from the narcissists, either in a relationship, a spouse, the family. It doesn't matter who the narcissist is in our life. When we get to that point where they realize that we are peering into their soul, we're catching on to this brokenness in their life, it's over. They're in the scrambled dogfight of their life. We have to understand that. And I'm starting right now with the 5 key strategies that we can start using right away that's going to help us significantly in our relationships with other people, whether it's narcissists or anybody for that matter. Strategy number 1, understand that there are people who need and appreciate this unique gift and ability that we possess. Also, understand that there are people who hate and despise this unique ability that we possess. We have to consider the possibility that to the outside world, we are like this bright light that is shining down on people's brokenness. So we need to understand that people will hate the very presence of us because we tend to be this light that exposes them. When people look at this ability that we possess, they tend to get aggressive and want to push at us to get us away, and they often label us as judgmental. When in reality, we're not judgmental, we're not being judgmental, but they feel exposed. This happens with those closest to us. It happens in our marriages, in our relationships, in our friendships, and in our families. Step number 2, learn to let things go. This is actually a lot harder than it sounds for us empaths. We very easily get attached to people. And I'm not trying to get all spiritual on you, but we can develop soul ties because of our unique ability to look into people's souls, feel their pain, experience their pain, and most of the time apprehend and take some of their pain. This can cause some serious bonding between the two souls. They become linked, knotted together, right? And we have to learn to let this go. It's important for us as empaths to develop an exit strategy. We have to have an outlet for the stuff that we take in. We do apprehend people's pains, people's sufferings. We experience things with people. And if we don't have an exit strategy, if we don't let it go immediately, this stuff can pile up. We could start to turn these bodies into dumps for other people's problems. And we can't let that happen. This means that we need to have a counselor that we go to on a regular basis. It means that we need to have a support group of some kind. And everything that we're taking in, we have to give it right back out. When we take something in, get it out. Take it in, get it out. We need to deal with it immediately. We need to go immediately and get it out. Key strategy number 3, learn to keep guard at all times. It is super easy for us empaths to put our guard down because we understand that in order to be honest with people, we have to be able to have a level of vulnerability. But we have to understand that it's kind of like getting naked. And we want to take baby steps. Take a step of vulnerability, allow the other person to take a step of vulnerability. Take a step, allow them to take a step. We take a step, they take a step. We oftentimes just go and rip our clothes off and get completely naked and vulnerable in front of other people. There's 2 reasons you don't want to do that. 1, it can scare the heck out of people. And 2, getting so vulnerable so fast leaves us open for an ambush attack. We need to learn to keep our vulnerability disciplined. This key step will help us in job interviews. It will help us in our relationships. It will help us just get along a whole lot better in this culture of narcissists. Key strategy number 4, set boundaries. Boundaries for ourselves, guys, not boundaries for anybody else. Setting boundaries is not telling other people how to be around us. Setting boundaries is telling ourselves what we will and won't be around. Because we have such a desire to be empathetic towards other people's emotions, we tend to say yes to everything, even when it's inconvenient for us. No. This needs to stop, guys. We need to be okay with saying no. Not right now. It's not a good time. Especially when it comes to emotionally draining people. People can start to take advantage of our unique gift and ability and use us as their own personal dump over and over and over whenever it's convenient for them. We have to be able to stand up and say, no, I'm busy. Key strategy number 5. Be mindful of our expectations, guys. Not everybody has our unique ability and gift to understand and to feel and to be sensitive towards people's thoughts and emotions. So we can't hold people to our own ability. So when people are hating on us, people are acting disgusted with us, people are angry, people are frustrated, people are verbally abusing us, we can't automatically assume that just because we understand feelings, that they are able to understand feelings. Because the reality is they don't. They haven't nurtured the unique gift and the ability that we've nurtured in our lives. We have to accept the possibility that they have no clue as to how they're making us feel. For real, guys. This is especially true with narcissists. We have to understand that they truly cannot experience what they're putting us through. So we may have to learn how to politely say, excuse me, I don't like this, so it needs to stop, or I'm going to have to take a step out. Thank you guys so much for watching my top 5 key strategies for surviving in a culture of narcissists. Guys, talk to me on this one. This is an important one. Let me know if I've missed something. Let me know if I need to add something to this list. All right, guys, be sure to subscribe.